are here with Bob Mangan from Mangan Martial Arts Academy, and he has brought his daughter Samantha, who will be joining us later to demonstrate some martial arts or some self-defense. But thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, you're welcome.
How long have you been doing martial arts, and how long has your academy been up in Mooresville?
I started martial arts in 1974. I started in New York, and I studied various different styles. Primarily, we do a Mudokwan style, which is a Korean style. And I've been teaching in Mooresville since 1996. My academy, I guess, has been about a year and a half that I've moved from the rec department that I was at for about 9 years. And we've been there about a year and a half, and we're doing pretty well there. You know, it's I'm starting to see a lot of influx of people wanting to do more self-defense because of, you know, things that are happening. You know, I'm sure you watch the news and...
Right, it seems like more crime.
So what's the difference between self-defense and then the different forms of martial art? There's Taekwondo and Karate, and the one that you mentioned. Are they overlapping?
Primarily, your traditional styles are more of an art form. They do have self-defense in them, but some of the self-defense from years ago were kind of antiquated towards you know, our environment today. In the martial arts, you learn how to fight. Okay,
Right.
you learn forms and you learn respect, and you also learn some fighting. In the self-defense portion, you actually need to be able to defend and to avoid the situations. Is primarily your greatest attribute. You know what I mean?
And we've talked a lot about ideas and things for children today, and it's a great tie-in. Now we're talking about children, and what are some of the key things a parent can teach their child about self-defense?
Key thing is communication has to be open between the parent and the child. That is very, very important. You have to keep a communication with your child. If they have, if something's bothering them, you have to kind of see the signs. Stranger danger is a good concept, but probably 70% is a low number of problems that happen with children, is people that they know.
Well,
so it's not actually a stranger. So if you go to a good self-defense thing, they'll go into these different aspects and how to keep your child safe, what to do if they get lost in a store, not to, they have a lot of lures that a lot of people, because some of these people are professionals at their craft.
Well, which amazed me, they had something on, it was one of the national shows, where they were talking about the different methods used to get children into a car. And what I found really intriguing is they would interview these parents, and these parents would say, my daughter would never, if someone came up and said, oh, I've got puppies in the car, would never go into a car with somebody. And it was amazing, while the parents were watching, they set these kids up, and how many of them actually followed that individual to the car to see the puppy or to help them because they were lost. Or so I think you're right, communication and really going through.
Well, sometimes what happens is it goes under a thing called predator-prey.
Right.
And sometimes a predator will stalk that person for a while. They know their name, they know their habits. So these are the things that we have to be aware of too. Awareness is key in any self-defense. For adults, children, and the whole, you have to be aware of your surroundings. If something doesn't feel right, you have to go with that gut feeling. And that's the most important thing that I feel. You know, I say it's 100% of your self-defense is awareness. Not to say that your self-defense portion, your skill portion should be 0, but the awareness is #1. You have to be aware of your surroundings, what's happening, you know, so, and that's very important for children.
So you shouldn't ever have to use the skills that you learn in terms of the actual self-defense moves if you're aware of the situation and just avoid that situation.
Well, actually your skill, okay, is a hit and a run.
Okay.
You're not there to fight. Okay, it's the difference between fighting and defending. Defending is to be able to stop the situation as fast as possible and get to safety. That is #1. Key words for the kids. Yelling and screaming is important to do. I do a thing with, it's called key words, and in a family atmosphere, you should have a secret code that the parents know. If you send somebody from, say, that you know that frequents the house, you know them, the kids know them.
Right.
They say, little Johnny, your mom told me to come pick you up. If they don't know the key word, they should not go with them.
Right.
We don't always know people.
Right,
That-
you think
that's
you know, yeah.
That's a problem. Okay, so if you go, like I said, if you go to a good self-defense program, they'll teach you some of these skills. We have different lures that the kids want to do, and it's got to be repetition. If they came to my self-defense thing, you would have to reinforce that at home.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said something about awareness, and that makes me think of, children now, they're playing video games, they're texting on their cell phones, or they're talking on their cell phones. Well, then they're not really aware of what's happening around them.
You become a victim. When you're on a cell phone, I'm sure that you'll be on the cell phone because everybody is busy now. They're on the cell phone. They're walking through the parking lot of a big shopping mall. You become a victim.
Well, I'm wondering, should you be on the cell phone talking to your mom while you're walking through the parking lot, or are you better off holding the cell phone and getting ready to push that number if you have to, but watching your surroundings?
But are you aware of what's going on around you?
Not if you're on the phone. Yeah.
So people think the cell phone is a good defense mechanism. It's good to some degree, if you have to make a phone call, but it's not going to get you out of the problem. It's not going to get you out of that problem. I think it's more of a hindrance. Same thing jogging with a iPod on or something. You can't hear what's going on. You're not aware of your surroundings, and that's key. You have to avoid. I have a thing which I call AAA self-defense, and it's my own. It's just some key words that I put together. Number one is awareness. Second would be avoidance, and third would be aggressiveness.
Okay.
So those are three key ingredients. In a situation, if you're not aware of your surroundings, and all of a sudden you notice that someone's too close, you have to avoid. So you have to make the decision, and you have to avoid to go to safety. And you should have some kind of plan what you're going to do. Because if you don't have a plan, you're gonna get paralyzed at that moment.
Right.
You have some kind of plan in your head. Last resort is to hit and run. That's your key. That's number one.
I hear sometimes that part of the problem with people not following with their gut instinct is somebody might get a little bit close, but they don't want to be rude.
Right.
So they don't avoid as well as they should. If somebody comes up, approaches them to talk to them, afraid of hurting somebody's feelings, and when really they should just get out of there.
If your gut feeling tells you something, go with your gut. It's a sixth sense.
Yeah.
This is in our body.
Right.
This is something that's kind of primal, that's in our body. And if you don't pay attention to it, you can put yourself in a bad situation. You have control of this. This is something you have control of, and you have to condition yourself to do this.
I think it's great advice, and let's have you and your daughter demonstrate some of the moves that children can do, and let's finish up too by talking about you are offering some safety classes for children and for adults.
Right now I have some women's self-defense courses. Right now they're full.
Okay.
I'm going to be offering more.
And we'll post them on the LKNSavings.com website as well. So when we get those dates, you can check there. I think it could be a great present too. You don't know what to get somebody.
Right.
Get them a self-defense class. And you're running a great special right now too. You have 1 month of martial arts plus a free uniform for only $29 on the LKNSavings.com website. That's a great special if you're thinking about getting started with the martial arts.
Yeah, I like people to be able to. I kind of do an acceptance program. I want to see if that's exactly what they want to do.
Right.
I kind of accept them as a student. They have to accept me as an instructor.
That's a great idea.
So it works out pretty well. I've been doing it like that for years. So.
Great. Well, let's bring your daughter on and have you do some demonstrations for us.
Okay, thank you.